When was the last time a single negative experience ruined your mood for the entire day? It might be as silly as someone cutting you off in the line to get your morning coffee. Or it can be a negative experience at the end of the day that might ruin your entire evaluation of the day. This video is about negativity bias, and this is the intro. What negativity bias is that we tend to remember and emphasize more and more on the negative experience compared to the similar positive experiences. The Nobel Prize winning economist Daniel Kahneman did an experiment to test out the effect of the negativity bias. There were two groups of people chosen. The people taking part in the experiment were told to imagine different scenarios. One group of participants were told to imagine winning $50, and the other group was told to imagine losing $50. The emotional response displayed by the participants was measured. And since I am talking about the negativity bias and I have already explained what negativity bias is, I think you have already guessed what happened in the experiment. The people that were told to imagine losing $50 had the greater amount of emotional response. There was another similar experiment done in Ohio State University. The participants were shown three different types of pictures: neutral, positive, and negative. The information processing of the brain was measured by looking at the electrical activity taking place in the brain at the time the pictures were being shown. By looking at the result, the conclusion was that our brain seems to react more when it sees something perceived to be negative. There is more activity going on in the brain when we are facing something negative. And the reason behind that is very simple. It is the same reason why humankind was able to survive this long in the wilderness and eventually develop into societies. You see, our brains have always been programmed to look for the negative. Since we were living as hunter-gatherers, we used to look for the negative things in our environment. That's because something rattling in the bushes might indicate imminent danger. Spotting danger in the wilderness would mean that you and your family can move on and live to see another day. And remembering negative experience would mean to avoid certain dangerous situations. If you see different animals are acting strange and avoiding to go someplace, you should think that there is something bad in there. You have to avoid that area. But modern days are not like that. It is still wise to be on the lookout for dangerous situations. But dangerous things do not necessarily happen in your home or office. And you do not need to remember the way one of your colleagues looked at you or said something mean. Remembering things like that are not vital for your survival. Always focusing on the bad news can lead a person to anxiety. That is because you acutely remember the bad things while easily forgetting the good things that are still happening to you. Research has said that in order to balance out the negative experiences with the positive ones, there should be 3 to 5 positive experiences for a single negative experience. After you have 3 to 5 positive experiences about something, the effect of a single negative experience of the same magnitude starts fading away. In my video about declinism bias, I think I have said something related to negativity bias, that negativity bias has something to do with this bias. In declinism, You believe that everything is getting worse by the day, and you remember the recent bad experiences more than the good ones. That is why declinism is strengthened by negativity bias. Now, how to beat this bias? Just by knowing about this bias, you can get rid of this bias. So you did a good job watching this video. Moving on. Although we cannot completely get rid of the part of our brain function that helps to amplify the negative experiences, what we can do is increase the emotional responses to positive experiences. First of all, whenever something positive happens to you, you should try and make a conscious effort to savor the moment and think about it even after it has happened. It is not going to be easy, and you need to train yourself to do that. It is also good for you to write a journal at the end of every day. In that journal, you can list down the positive things that happened to you in the day. You can also add the things you are grateful for in the journal. Positive self-talk is another way you can bring down the power of negative experiences in your life. Research has shown that a lot of people have negative self-image and talk to themselves in a negative and demeaning manner. Training yourself to talk positively to yourself, even in adverse conditions, is going to do you good in a lot of ways. That way, you are going to have an increase in your confidence level as well. And that is where I will end the discussion on negativity bias. You can like, share, subscribe, comment, and everything else. You already know that. But reminding you increases your possibility to like, comment, share, and subscribe. That's why I'm reminding you that. Now, another thing you need to know is I have a Patreon. If you want to support whatever I am doing in this channel, you can support me on Patreon. Now time for bonus. It is going to be a really short one. The Spanish word for height is altura or estatura. Altura or estatura. And Spanish word for weight is peso. Peso. That's it. That was the bonus, a really short one. And this is the official end of this video. Thank you so much for watching if you are still watching. And lastly, I really hope you have learned something new today. Goodbye for now.